Hello everybody, welcome back to TTTV. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the commentary booth is Andy Campbell. Andy, welcome for what should be your TTL F1 debut. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Hello everybody watching as well. My name is Andy of AOR New Fame as it is. But yes, this is my TTFL debut alongside Kieran. It's lovely to have such an experienced commentator in the booth alongside me today. Looking forward to a cracking race around the Monza circuit just outside of Milan in Italy. Should be an absolute blast here this evening. Who are you expecting to do well this evening, Kieran? You've obviously got a bit more experience of the league than I do at the moment. Who should we be looking out for tonight?
Well, you'd think I have a bit more experience in this league, but of course we come to the four title rivals: Lambo, Poe, Squeezy and Spike, all battling it out. Now, apologies first of all for missing Belgium. That was out of my control. I had the what was it, the P7 error or something like that, CP7 error, which meant I couldn't join the stream at all and all that great stuff. So apologies for missing Belgium, but we're live here for the Italian Grand Prix, and in a week where there should have been a legendary lineup of tracks, I'm afraid I've let everyone down. However, we are here, Andy, and like you say, legendary track Monza, fantastic flowing circuit, only 11 corners, but definitely one of the highlights on the calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. As everybody always enjoys it when it comes to the real event. Obviously, the passionate crowd of the Tifosi cheering on the scarlet red Ferraris as ever. And obviously, it's always going to be an extremely fast race as well. We obviously seen Kimi Räikkönen this year take the pole with the fastest ever lap in F1 history. And tonight should be no exception. It's bound to be a slipstream fest. It's bound to be exciting. There's a lot of chances to outbreak yourself, to send one up the inside and do a Daniel Ricciardo and get it right into the chicanes. Many opportunities, and it's bound to be an exciting race tonight. I'm absolutely sure of that regardless.
Absolutely, and of course, not only did we see Daniel Ricciardo make those moves, but also Lewis Hamilton down into turns 1 and 2 on these first few races for McLaren that he had. So amazing to see. Monza always throws up a huge challenge. And Andy, what we never really talk about is, although it's the Temple of Speed, when it rains, normally it pours at Monza.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't seem to be such a thing as a small shower in Monza, that's for sure. You'd start to think for a second that you were back in the Ardennes Forest, the Nürburgring, or up in Spa when the rain comes here, but definitely it does, and it'll be interesting to see if we're going to be experiencing any of that sort of weather tonight or not. Obviously it's set to dynamic, so anything could happen, and obviously that will really make a spicy race, and as they say in Italy, it'll be a spicy meatball.
We'll ignore that terrible Italian accent, shall we, Andy?
Just a little bit, but I'm terrible for them.
Well, Monza was constructed in just 110 days in 1922. It became the world's third purpose-built racetrack, coming after Brooklands in England and Indianapolis in the United States. And pretty much what those two circuits have in common, all three of them actually, is a high amount of speed around the circuits. Of course, chicanes added to the boot-shaped circuit of Monza to try and slow the cars down a bit, but still, Andy, you're going to reach around about 210 miles an hour if you've got the right setup on these cars.
No, definitely so, and obviously if you go back to the 40s and the 50s, of course, it was the banked oval, which has got one of the most ridiculous bankings I think I've ever seen in any photo. Which is really steep, but obviously safety reasons, like everything, seen the end of that. But it's still, as you say, going to be easily over 200, 210, maybe even upwards of that as well, depending on the setup when you get down towards the chicane, especially down to turn 1, down to the Variante del Rettifilio, the first chicane. Obviously now just a left and right. Obviously back in the 90s it was a right left. It was a double chicane as well, but it's definitely probably the best opportunity for passing in this race, and I can see that now the session is ready and up, so it's not going to be long now before we head onto the track for qualifying. Who's your money on for this one, Kieran? I'm completely in the dark, so who do you think is going to be up front here and be the favourite to take pole position in front of the Tifosi?
Well, it's been an interesting season in terms of qualifying. Lambo, Poe, Squeezy and Spike have all had their moments in qualifying, but all of them have had moments way down the field. We remember back in Germany when Lambo got disqualified from qualifying, had to start from the back of the grid, came back to win the race. So you can never quite tell with those four drivers what's going to happen in qualifying, and it's never the full story. However, Poe seems to be in great form recently. His unlucky puncture 2 races out in Germany denied him that fantastic second place. I think I'm going to have to put some money on. It's difficult to say. I'm going to have to say Lambo. He is top of the standings right now on 196 points, with Poe in second, 183, tied with Squeezy for that second place. Spike is 10 points behind Poe on 173 in fourth place. Those four are running away with it, and we've come past the halfway season, and to have 4 title rivals at the halfway point in the season is absolutely fantastic to see.
Definitely so, especially this late. I mean, obviously we got to Monza this year and we already knew it was a 2-horse race between Hamilton and Vettel. In real life, obviously Hamilton taking the championship there on Sunday at the conclusion of the Mexican Grand Prix, of course, for his 5th championship. But having 4 drivers in it, coming up towards the end of the season, just adds that extra bit of spice, that extra bit of excitement to proceedings for each individual race as it goes along. And with 15 drivers all ready to head out onto the track, it's definitely going to be an exciting qualifying session. And usually, despite the slipstream effect, in real life at least anyway, if you're on the first row or 2, you've got the best chance of winning. So will that repeat itself here within the F1 2018 game with our drivers tonight, I wonder?
Absolutely. Well, Mays, our weatherman, in the chat has said that the weekend will be dry, so dry qualifying and a dry race. Lambo saying 99 subs. Yep, we're one away from that fantastic figure. Will you be the 100th sub? I'll give you a cookie if you are. Onyx says hello. Hello, Onyx. Z3, hello Z3. Unfortunately ill today, but hopefully we'll be able to see you at the next round, round 15. I'm already gonna. Oh well. Anyway, and of course Andy's saying thank you. Well, he's here with me right now.
Yeah, keep an eye on the chat as well. I can see obviously a few drivers out on the track trying to figure out who's going to be the first one to cross the line and make a start at a flying lap. Looks like it might be Lambo or Squeezy. In fact, Squeezy's there going. He's going to be the first one to set a lap. He's now across the line, started his flying lap, so he's the first one up, and he'll be the first one to set a lap time on the red Supersofts in the McLaren, and he is just heading through towards the Curva Grande just now. I've got him on my screen at the moment, and I can see Plaster's just retired from the session already, so I wonder if there's an issue there, or if he's just deciding to play tactics so that he's not in the top 10 and can make a choice of tyre that he pleases.
Yeah, I've been in a race with Plaster before. He likes to make those decisions, whether or not he's crashed out of the of qualifying. He normally likes to qualify outside the top 10. As Squeezy has a big moment there in the first Lesmo, but he's managed to recover it. He'll have to keep on going though, as he makes his way down towards the Ascari chicane. And let's see how he handles this as he flies through. Left, then right, then left. And I think he might have backed out of this lap just slightly with that little bit of a moment in the first Lesmo, and he has backed off completely. 3rd in the championship right now, well, joint 2nd technically, and he'll be looking to try and gain those 13 points on Lambo in this race. And speaking of Lambo, let's jump on board with him now as he heads towards the Parabolica then, braking, chucking the car in, hoping it sticks on those sticky red walls, super soft tyres. Runs a little bit onto the AstroTurf there as he heads towards the line, makes it as straight as possible, and Lambo sets a 120.0. Not the fastest lap we'll see, as we see it right there. Onyx, well, 119.7. And I thought that 120 wasn't going to stand at the top for very long, and I was proven right.
Absolutely, Onyx straight in under the 1 minute 20 barrier already on his first attempt, so he's obviously got his eye in pretty quickly in that Sauber. and it'll be interesting to see what others can do. Clifford is the bottom of the times that have been set, but look, he's on the soft, the yellow marked tyres, so the middle of the three, and I wonder if that again could be a strategy situation. Poe's gone second, 19.9, so a couple of tenths off at Onyx, and the yellow in sector 2 is Lambo slowing down to avoid holding anyone up, so no issues there with that. So 6 drivers, Ollie's now 25.9, medium tyres as well, so we're seeing quite a difference between the 3 tyres. Obviously the red super soft, the yellow soft and the white medium tyres, and it looks like quite a couple of drivers that might fancy their chances and maybe playing the tactical game and trying to have the more optimal strategy to run long into the race rather than starting on those faster super soft red marked tyres. So definitely going to be interesting to see what can be done, but you can see the top 5, less than a second between the top 5 at the moment, and it's definitely going to be very close, I would imagine, as we come towards the end of the session. Still 13 minutes to go though, so there's still plenty of time for people to make an impact yet here at Monza.
Absolutely. Well, you were saying about Ollie's lap time, 1:25.9. I don't think that's representative of his true pace. He might have made a mistake somewhere. Steph setting a banker lap in 9th place there. Other honourable mentions, we had Jay there going P4, 1:20.2 as he makes his way back towards the pit lane. Lighty, as you can see, the Tifosi trying to go wild for a German in a Ferrari. Where have we seen that before? He's there in 5th on a 1:20.5.
Yeah, so obviously Ferraris at the moment, there is a Ferrari powered car obviously at the front with Onyx's Sauber, of course, Alfa Romeo Brandon, so you know, 2 of the most recognisable marquees in motoring up the front with Alfa Romeo and Ferrari in the back of that Sauber. I'm currently watching Clifford in the Force India on those yellow tyres, 6th place at the moment, 1.1 down, just coming through the Lesmos at the moment and down towards the Ascari chicane. He looks like he's trying to maybe do a couple of laps, but he is running out of the battery, so I'm guessing he might just pit actually at the end, and yeah, it looks like he's just turned the battery down, so I don't think we'll see anything faster from him just now. Who else is on the track? You can see Steph and looks like one of the McLarens, that's Squeezy there around the outside of the Curva Grande. Squeezy on his out lap, Steph on, he's just set a lap there, but he's on the medium tyres, the white marked tyres, so Squeezy obviously wanting to get on with it. As you say, one of the top 4 in the championship in that papaya orange McLaren, and he is winding it up now on his outlap on those super softs, ready for a quick one. And it'll be interesting to see just what he can do. Can he get close to that 19.7 up the top there? Onyx first in the provisionals at the moment, provisional pole. And we're just coming down to 10 minutes to go, so we're getting to the end of the first lot of runs. And it's going to be interesting to see what Squeezy can do here in just a moment. He's coming down towards the Parabolica to start just now.
Absolutely, and you can see there Onyx topping the table with Poe in 2nd, Lambo 3rd. Spike we saw there crossing the line to take P4 on a 1:20.2. Jay is in 5th, Lighty 6th, Clifford in 7th on those soft tyres. Z3 is 8th, Steph in 9th on mediums, Ollie in 10th on mediums, Damien, Mays, Squeezy and LMFC yet to set a lap time in this qualifying session. And we are watching Squeezy right now to see if he can try and chance his arm at taking pole position. A very quick lap, as you said, Andy, in the build up to the race. Kimi Räikkönen setting the fastest average lap of all time in qualifying in 2018 this season. 10 minutes to go then as Squeezy chucks it into the first Lesmo then. Got to get that exit absolutely right. You can't be too greedy on the exit curb there on the left hand side of both of the Lesmos. You might find yourself into the gravel if you're not careful, or worse, invalidating your lap time as we now fly down with Squeezy towards the Ascari chicane. This left, right, left, fantastic when you get it right, but if you get it wrong it spits you out, and you've got to be careful on the left hander here. Got to keep at least one wheel on the left hand side of that white line as we now head towards the Parabolica. A fantastic corner this one, dropping about 3 gears and chucking the car in, hoping it sticks on those very sticky tyres as we're rounding now towards the start finish straight down this 1.1 kilometre long straight as Squeezy sets the fastest lap of the session. It's a 1:19.6 and he takes provisional pole position.
A fantastic lap there from Squeezy in the McLaren, showing why he's one of the top 4 in the championship, as you said earlier on. And that is a very quick time indeed. It'll be interesting to see if anyone can beat that within this last part of qualifying, but that was a cracking lap time. I spent most of it on board, and he just hitting the apex. It was a flowing lap. It looked really, really good from where I was watching, and the timing shows that they're a 10th up on Onyx, but we've still got the top 7 covered by less than a second, so there is still time there. In fact, there goes Paul with a faster lap, 19.6 in the Renault, so he's just beaten Squeezy there. So now it's getting interesting. 2 of the championship contenders, first and second provisionally on the grid at the moment. Lambo's not far back, he's in 4th, Onyx in 3rd, Spike is currently 5th. That rounds out your top 5. All of them set their lap on the super soft red mark tyre by the looks of it, so going to be an interesting end there. But Poe tops the standings at the moment. Onyx has just gone quicker, he's back into second, 3 thousandths of a second slower. You couldn't even blink in that time, that's so close. So this is definitely going to be an interesting end to the session for sure. But Poe on provisional pole at the moment.
I thought you were going to make a pun there, Andy, and I was going to interrupt before that happened on provisional pole.
No, I'm good for puns, but there's certain ones where I will stop myself, so don't worry. There'll be no Teletubbies references here.
Fair enough. We've got LMFC here, trying to round his way through the second Lesmo in that Pink Panther Force India, making his way down towards the Ascari chicane on the soft tyres here, as he makes his way towards the left, right, left here of 8, 9 and 10. So he's got to get that exit curb absolutely right, and he does, heading up towards the Parabolica now. And well, as you say, it's a pretty close qualifying session, especially at the top, but don't rule out any of those guys further down the field, especially Steph trying to qualify on those medium tyres. Here comes LMFC towards the line, and he goes P10, knocks Steph out of that top 10 with a 121.3.
Yeah, decent lap time there on the slower tyres, so obviously if he can hold that 10th position at the end, then obviously that will give him a strategical advantage in the race, starting on those yellow mark tyres. But of course, there's still 6.5 minutes to go. We've still got Maisie, I can never say that right. He's still even set a lap time, and obviously, as you said, Ollie was 6 seconds down on his lap time. So, as you say, possibly made a mistake, probably not his best representative lap time. So, there's still a lot of chance there. The top 4 are in the pits. Lambo is on an out lap. So, there's a few drivers on track at the moment, but some of them are holding off, waiting for those last 5 minutes. Definitely going to be exciting to see if anyone can top Poe's lap time. 1:19.646 at the top of the provisional standings just now.
Yeah, Ollie there has set a 121.3. He's finally set a representative lap time on some soft tyres. Don't be surprised to see him on a set of super softs towards the end of this session. It puts him into P10 though, 121.351, just about in front by just around 200ths of a second. That's Damien retired from the session, and there's yellow flags in sectors 1, 2 and 3, so that can't be a good sign. But we're riding on board with Mays then. Yet to set a lap time. This could be the one here as he heads towards the line. Loves to leave his qualifying laps late. It's a 120.7, and it puts him into P9, knocking Ollie out of the top 10.
Yeah, he's knocked him down there, so only one driver on the yellow marked softs in the top 10 at the moment, and that is Spike in 7th place in the Salva. He's just coming up to complete another lap time. Does he improve on it? No, not on this occasion. It was quite a slow one actually. It was a 1:24 he did there, so possibly got held up by traffic or made a mistake, so that's definitely not the kind of lap time as he locks up going into the Retafilio chicane at the start of the lap. I'll get the feeling he'll probably pull it into the pits this time round, but he does have quite a bit of battery life left, so maybe he's trying to do a 2-lapper. Maybe that was him just winding it all up, getting everything set up to go for a quick one this time round. But he is one of only 4 drivers on the track at the moment. Everyone else is still in the pits. I expect to see everybody flying out very shortly, and I'd expect a lot of them to be on the super soft tyres as well. I would imagine that to be the case. Clifford, the only one now on the top 10. He's still there. No, he's not out at the moment. Sorry, I'm getting myself confused. Ignore me. I'll disappear for a minute.
Oh, don't disappear.
No, not completely. I'll stay. It's fine.
I was going to say, this is great because obviously I'm still on the back end of this cold, Andy, and my voice is only just about coming back, which is great news for me. But yeah, always a nightmare when you're a commentator and you just lose your voice. It's not great. It's happened before, and we all know it happened before, and it just took about 2 weeks for it to recover.
No, it's definitely the worst. Spike there, though. Just caught the end of his lap. Soft tyres. Just over a tenth shy the pole position on the soft tyres. That's an incredible lap there from the Sauber driver. Imagine what that could have been with the super softs if he had lined it up that good. Really brilliant lap there from Spike, and obviously he is one of those 4 in the championship hunt, and that is definitely, if he can stay in that top 5 and he stays on those yellow soft tyres for the duration, that's going to put him in a very good position that far up the field on the yellow marked tyres. 3 minutes to go though, the clock's just ticked over. And it'll be interesting to see. The top 3 are still in the pits though, so expect to see them out just quickly. Look at the gaps between the top 3. 0.032 of a second between Pole, Onyx and Squeezy. That is just how tight it is here in TTFL1. And incredible stuff there. Mazzy's decided to drop out of qualifying. He's retired now, so he's going to be no better than 9th as we come into this last 2.5 minutes. Can anybody knock that Renault off the top spot? It'll be very interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, what's interesting here is Spike, who's done 2 laps. He's done 2 flying laps on those soft tyres, so that may come back to bite him in a 50% race around Italy. But normally here the track operation is quite high, but if you're careful with the tyres they will treat you absolutely fine. You can get away with a super soft to medium stint if you can look after those Red Bull tyres to begin with, but you get it wrong, you make a lock-up and you significantly hurt your chances of making those tyres last. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go then, as we are waiting. Poe still in the pits. He is leaving this late. He's just exited the pits now into turns 1 and 2, so he will have just about enough time to get an outlap in. That's the Mercedes of Steph, also leaving it very late to join the track, so they should be able to make the lap then. Here comes Lighty. He runs wide around the Parabolica. Will the lap time still count? He's going to run up towards the line, and it doesn't. Well, he went slower. 1:19.8 there from Lighty, doesn't improve. But is he going to go for another lap? DRS stays open, so you would assume so then.
Yeah, definitely going for another lap. So Spike's in the pits, LMFC's in the pits, so we're not going to see them now. Too late to get round with a minute to go. So they are set at no better than 5th or 12th. Obviously Spike was doing that lap on the soft tyre, and if no one can better that, as I say, that could be a very good strategy call. It could be a good chance for the race. Trying to see who is on a quick lap at the moment and who's in the best position. Just catching Lambo coming to the end of his lap in the Toro Rosso. Across the line he goes, and he doesn't improve. He's actually 1/1000 slower than his quickest lap, than a 1:20.068. So he's just shy, but he's got enough time to do another lap. 20 seconds to go. It's going to be very tight as we come into the last part of the session just now. But Poe just out in front, 3/1000ths of a second ahead at Onyx, who I'm watching at the moment, heading up towards the Roggia chicane, the second chicane towards the back of the track. He's now in sector 2, just catching the gravel there. That won't have helped him at all as he comes through the Lesmos just now. So Lambo's retired out, so he is not going to be taking any further part. And I'm just going to keep an eye on Onyx at the moment. He's coming down towards the Ascari chicane, goes underneath the bridge which has the banking above it, the old track, And they go down from 8th gear, 5th gear through the Ascari chicane, catches the curb and just perfectly, 160 on the exit. That looked like a very nice line indeed there from the Salba driver. He's powering down to Parabolica now, 210, 211 before he hits the brakes at around the 100 metre mark. 5th gear, powering his way around Parabolica. Squeezy's gone into pole position with a 19.5. That's a quick lap indeed, and Onyx cannot improve on his time. So that is him down to 3rd. Pole's obviously not in this, and it's Squeezy on pole at the moment, and the only ones that can beat that is Jay, who's just crossing the line now, and he goes up to 4th, so he's improved. And the only other one on a lap at the moment I can see is Ollie, but he is slowed right down, so that's it. Qualifying would seem to be over as Ollie backs out of it through Parabolica, and we seem to have our grid, Kieran.
Absolutely. Well, Onyx raised a fair point there. I was going to say that he went 2/10 faster on that lap, but he invalidated his lap time. So he will be starting from the 2nd row of the grid. So that means then that Squeezy will take pole position from Poe and Onyx. That is your top 3 as we head towards the Italian Grand Prix. We then have Jay in 4th, Lighty in 5th, Spike in 6th, Lambo 7th, Z3 in 8th, Ollie in 9th, Maze in 10th, Clifford 11th, Steph in 12th, LMFC in 13th, Damien 14th, and Plaster did not set a time in qualifying. He'll be starting from P15.
Yeah, very good qualifying session there. Squeezy will definitely be happy with that, and I did see the message from Onyx in the chat about his 19.3 expected that to be. That would have been a very rapid time indeed if he'd been able to do that without the invalidation at the first turn. But he's still P3, so he's still got a fantastic chance of doing well in this race. And as I said, during that first down to 9th, 1 second between the top 9, and even if you go further than that, less than half a second between the top 8. Very, very close, but Spike there, 6th place, and the other Salba on the soft tyres. The only runner in the top 10 who is not on those red marked super soft tyres. That's going to put him in a very good position for strategy. But this is going to be a very interesting race. Hopefully no issues down into turn 1, down into the Retafilio on lap 1. I would hate to see someone's race getting ruined on the first lap by losing a front wing, so hopefully all the drivers can keep it together. It's definitely going to be an interesting race for sure, and the start is coming up just very shortly indeed.
Absolutely. We'll go on our formation lap, and of course we'll take you through the drivers you need to watch. And it's no surprise that you need to be watching out for the top 4. Lambo leading the championship by 13 points to Poe. Squeezy in 3rd on exactly the same points as Poe, with Spike on 4th place, 10 points behind Squeezy and Poe. He's on 173. Lighty, don't forget, is 5th in the championship. He's on 71 points. He has missed a couple of races, and he'll be hoping that in front of the Tifosi he can score a good amount of points. Maze there in 8th place in the championship on 55 points. He'll be hoping for a good run. Ollie there, 9th place, has had a couple of unlucky races, so he'll be hoping to keep his head down and get away in 9th place at the moment. We take you through the constructors then. It's tied at the top. It's not tied at the top, sorry, I read that wrong. It's going well, this stream. McLaren lead the way on 237, as you see there. Squeezy grabbing pole position, Toro Rosso in 2nd on 227, then it's Renault in 3rd on 224, Sauber in 4th on 203, Williams in 5th on 110, Ferrari in 6th on 79, Haas in 7th on 73, Red Bull 8th on 68, Mercedes in 9th on 57, Force India are at the back of the field on 16 points. But remember, they've only had one driver this season, and Clifford came in as a mid-season driver. So a lot to discuss then. It's been a very close championship in both ends, constructors and drivers. And as Onyx was saying in the chat, this league is so close at the front, that couldn't be any more true. We'll have a look at the details then. More importantly, the tyres. Of course, the top 10 have to start on the tyre they qualified on. Those outside the top 10, Clifford will be starting on a fresh set of soft tyres, as will Steph there in P12. LMFC will be starting on a fresh set of super soft tyres. Damien is going for the curveball here. He's going for the medium tyres and hoping that a safety car doesn't ruin that strategy. Plaster, meanwhile, is going to start on a fresh set of super soft tyres and see how long he can make those tyres last. In terms of drivers to watch then, well, Squeezy, what a lap that was. Put him onto pole position. I expect him to try and get away from Poe as we head down towards turn 1. Don't forget about Onyx though. He is one of those drivers you've got to watch out for. Really wants this race win. Of course, the only person who's won a race that's outside of the top 4 in this championship was Blizzard, and that was him as a reserve at the British Grand Prix. So he'll be hoping to try and buck that trend and become the only second driver outside of that top 4 to get a race win. And what better place to do it than at your engine's home race?
Definitely so. It's going to be very interesting here at what some people call the Temple of Speed, the Monza circuit, just outside of Milan in Italy. It has been on the calendar for many years as pretty much a mainstay in the F1 calendar. But the lights are on. I'm going to let you take it away, Kieran, for a start.
Absolutely. Here we go then for the Italian Grand Prix. 5 red lights. Round 14 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like a little bit of wheel spin from Squeezy. He goes to try and cut off Poe as we head down towards turn 1, but look at Jay trying to squeeze off Onyx in the background then. We head towards turn 1 for the first time. Do the cars make it through cleanly? A little bit of a car park behind them there. Look at Jay trying to make his way through. He's up into P3, Poe slightly on the grass ahead, but Onyx takes him back as we head through the Curva Grande. Jay right on his tail there. That's Lighty in the Ferrari in 5th place. Squeezy leads then, Poe in 2nd, Onyx 3rd, Jay 4th, Lighty in 5th as we see a challenging Toro Rosso there trying to go down the inside. That's Lambo trying to battle away with Lighty. Has to back out of the move though. Lighty had the corner. Spike there in P7. He's trying to battle away with Ollie. Ollie's moved up to 8th place from the start there, but Lambo trying to put Lighty under some serious pressure there as that's someone off behind them. And who's that off behind them? It was Plaster. Plaster,
yeah.
Yeah, he got wide on the exit of the first Lesmo, and I don't know if there's any damage to the car at all. It doesn't look like it. He's able to recover then and continue on his merry way. Meanwhile then, we have a look at this battle for 3rd place. This is Jay, Poe, Lighty and Lambo, all really close together with Spike and Ollie in the distance. There you can see Jay trying to defend from his teammate. Poe trying to go around the outside is Jay as we head through the Parabolica for the first time this race. And Jay, look at that, he's just got the speed there to get it through the corner. He's got the right amount of aero, but there you go. Poe is right in the slipstream now. Lighty looking to try and take advantage of any mistake these two Renault drivers make, and you've got the Toro Rosso there of Lambo trying to make a move. They're trying to make it 3 wide down into turn 1, and that was never going to work. Lambo there loses out, and he's up now into P5 somehow as he managed to recover from that, but he tried to stick his nose there into turn 1, and that was never going to happen, Andy.
No, it definitely was not there. And here comes Lighty trying to get that place back from Lambo into the second chicane. Looks like they might have even touched wheels there. They get away with it as they come up towards the first Lesmo corner. Just going to quickly mention what a brilliant second half of the first lap from Onyx. He got squeezed out into the first chicane. They were 3 wide through the first chicane, for crying out loud, and he got squeezed down the order. But by the end of the first lap, he's back up to 2nd place, gaining 1 place from his starting position. I watched him through the 2 Lesmo corners side by side with Jay in the Renault. Brilliant driving from the 2 of them. Jay did catch the grass, so hopefully he wasn't squeezed out in any untoward manner as Lighty runs wide coming out the Ascari chicane. But they are nose to tail from 4th downwards, and it's just going to be an absolute slipstream fest here at Monza. And there's Lighty just keeping the other Sauber Spike behind, but Spike goes up back underneath, gets the better run out of the corner, and that is Spike up to 6th place, so he's back to where he started, and DRS is now enabled on this lap. So it'll be interesting to see as Lighty tries again. We've got the Reynolds, the Toro Rosso ahead. Lighty round the outside into the first chicane. Can he hold it? He can do, and here comes the McLaren Ollie up the inside of Spike as well, so Spike possibly going to lose 2 places there because of that, as the McLaren goes side by side with him through the Curva Grande. And now Ollie's going to have a go at Lighty possibly. Spike is still there as well. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to come out on top? And Ollie backs out of that, so Lighty keeps 6th, Spike back down to 7th. But it is all go here at Monza. But Squeezy's still out in front from pole position, around 2 seconds clear at Onyx. He's got 2.5 over the rest of the field basically. Jay trying to hold off pole. Lambo not far behind as well. Is just nose to tail action as they come up towards the Ascari chicane here on lap 3.
Yeah, Spike made the move on Lighty, going through the first part of the Ascari into the braking zone, and that's a Force India there going very wide. That was Clifford going very wide on the exit of Ascari. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3, and that is a Toro Rosso behind. That's Z3. Now, has Z3 hit the wall there? A little bit of debris and a bit of front wing damage. He has hit the wall, so I wonder if he just lost it on the exit of the third part of Ascari. Meanwhile then, LMFC gets away past Maze, but Maze isn't done there as they head down towards turn 1. We've got battles of galore happening. I'm not really sure where to look. I'm going to stick with the two Force Indias here as LMFC gets in front of Maze and Clifford. Those two are working together. Absolutely fantastic teamwork. And Clifford trying to get the better run out of turn 2. And he has got the better run on those soft tyres. He makes the move on Maze. He's now up into the points.
Yeah, a lovely little move there. I did notice as well, Poe's picked up a 3-second penalty already on lap 4 for corner cutting, so that could come back into play later on in the race. Currently 5th behind this 2-car train, which is the 2 Reynolds, Jay and Poe. Sorry, he's in the middle of that train actually. He's in the Renault, isn't he? I'm talking into the wrong car. He's in 4th at the moment, chasing his teammate. He's got Lambo right behind him. They're flying up towards Ascari at the moment, but he's already got a 3-second time penalty, which will be added to his race time at the end of this race, most likely, or in the pit stops. I've not played the game enough to know actually. I'm just trying to say that. There you go. But it's incredible start. The gainers there. LMFC's up 4 places from his starting position. Z3 is the biggest loser, as you said. He got wide and loose out of Ascari. He's lost 7 places from where he started. Everyone else within maybe a place or two where they started off, but the Squeezy still out in front. And here comes Poe on Jay and Lambo on Poe as well. This is going to be fun coming into the first chicane, the Retofilio. The 2 Reynolds side by side, and Poe slides it up the inside, but he's the contact there with his teammate. Hopefully that's not caused any damage. Lambo's going to try and take advantage of this through the Curva Grande, and can he sweep by both Reynolds here as they head up towards the Roggia chicane?
Oh.
Lambo's off, he's off, big time off. Oh, back across the tracks, he's caught the McLaren at Ollie. They're both out the race. That is, oh goodness me, that is not a 5-second stop go penalty given to Lighty for the collision with Lambo, but I don't think that's quite his fault. My goodness, that was a big crash there. Just as I thought Lambo was going to get a run on the Reynolds, he's out the race, and Ollie, an innocent spectator there, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked like there was contact between the Toro Rosso and the Renault as they were going through the Curva Grande, and it just sent Lambo off the track, and as you saw, he had to be catapulted back across the track. Of course, he lost control of the car, and as you say, Ollie just completely innocent, nowhere to go, and LMFC's retired now. And what's happened here? He's lost it completely on the exit of Ascari. He's out of the race now.
Oh yeah, yeah, so that's sitting in the middle of the road as well. The Pink Panther didn't catch that there, but I did see him retire. But yeah, that's he was up 7 places as well because of all those incidents between Lambo and Ollie, so he was looking good. Jay's in the pits, so I'm wondering if he's got damage on that Renault, and Onyx has picked up a 3-second time penalty for repeated warnings. Jay's in the pits, but he seems to be sideways, so I'm guessing that's maybe a glitch. Lighty's in the pits as well for a stop, and Jay's back out. He is on the medium tyres by the looks of it. He's gone onto the white wall tyres. He'll be trying to run to the end of the race, but to try and do 21 laps, that's quite a tall order. He'll need to really be careful on him. Even though it is the mediums, he'll still need to be very delicate to get them to the end of the race without having to make another stop. It's still Squeezy out in front. Onyx is nearly within DRS range though of them now as they come flying down towards Ascari. And will the Sauber have a go at the McLaren coming into the start of the next lap, which will be lap 7. He's getting very wide on the curb in there, which is why he's obviously picked up that penalty already. But as they come towards Parabolica, we're going to stick here. I'm watching the leaders, as are you, and they come through Parabolica, so he looks like he's in DRS range now, the Sauber. He's got all the DRS, he's got the battery turned up as well to overtake. I don't think he's close enough here to catch. He's not even used his DRS actually by the looks of it. That's surprising. says he had it available to him, but he didn't use it. So I wonder if that's a problem with the screen that I'm looking at, or if he just never realised it. Who knows? But Squeezy still out in front, lap 7. Onyx in second, Pose in third. He's obviously now ahead of his teammate Jay, who's made a pit stop. Spike up to fourth, still on those soft tyres he started the race with. And Clifford in the Force India now in 5th place, with Mazzy in 6th. Steph's in 7th, leading his teammate Damien in 8th. Obviously Damien's on the medium tyre, so he's not a bad place now. Plaster's in 9th in the Ferrari, and in 10th place, round out the top 10 is Jay, but he is the first driver who has made a stop, and he is in 10th place, so it'll be interesting to watch his progress in the number 4 Renault as this race goes on.
Yeah, here we go then with the battle for 11th place. Here comes Z3 trying to go around the outside of Light E then. Light E got the inside line for turn 1, but will Z3 have the better exit? Around about the same level of tyre wear. Z3's tyres 3 laps old. Light E's only a single lap old as they head through the Curva Grande, but you can see here Z3 has got an immense amount of pace here. He might try and use it now as we head towards turn 4. Mono, he backs out of the move there as we head through the second chicane, loses that back end just slightly, and that opens up the gap then towards Light E as they head towards the first Lesmo. I was riding on board with Squeezy then. We might get a chance if we see him go through the Parabolica again. His car seems to be really upset on the third part of Ascari, on that right-hander. When he goes to exit the corner, the car just seems to bite at him. And I wonder, with the amount of wear that would put on his tyres, would it be sooner rather than later that bite might turn into something more sinister?
Yeah, he's definitely going to need to be careful. These red mark tyres are likely to start to be screaming in pain. If they're not already, they certainly will be in the next couple of laps. I don't know what happened to Onyx, though. He was within DRS range and he's now 2 seconds back, so he's obviously had a little bit of an issue within the last couple of laps. The field's starting to string out a little bit. 12 runners left from the 15 that started. Obviously seen what happened to Lambo and Ollie. Lambo getting caught up trying to pass the Reynolds through the Curva Grande, off into the gravel, hit the wall, came back across the track, and Ollie was just, unfortunately for him, in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then LMFC at the top of the Ascari chicane on the exit got caught out as well. So they're the 3 retirees as Jay picks up a 3-second penalty as well for repeated warnings. So that's 3 drivers already now. We're not even up to lap 10 yet, and we've got 3 drivers who have all got 3-second penalties either for corner cutting or repeat warnings. And obviously that is something that could come back later on in the race, especially if it continues to be as close as this. Spike's gone past into third, and Onyx in the pits. I'm going to keep an eye and see what tyres. He's gone on to the medium tyres there, so he's the first of the front runners really, apart from Jay, to make a pit stop. It would be interesting to see how that Salva goes now. He comes back out in 6th place. He's got a good gap behind him to Steph in the Mercedes, so he's got plenty of chance to just work away at it. Z3's retired from this race as well. I don't know if you can see what's happened to him at all there, Kieran, but we have now lost a 4th runner in this race. The Toro Rosso out as well. That's both of them out of this race.
Yeah, and with both Toro Rossos out of the race, not only is that a complication in the Constructors' Championship, they will be scoring no points, so they will be stuck on 227 after this race. We might get to see Z3's car, do we? No, it's been cleared away, but you can see the debris shattered across the track there. What this does mean, though, with Lambo retiring from the race, if the race were finishing like this, Squeezy would take the lead of the championship. He would currently be on 208 points if the race were to end right now.
Squeezy's in the pits.
Squeezy is in the pits, yes, as he makes his way into the pits now, expecting him to go onto a set of medium tyres. Now, Onyx here could try and perform some sort of undercut. Of course, he pitted a lap earlier and sort of left Squeezy stranded out there. Now, I wonder if this is a response to Onyx pitting in. On go the medium tyres, away goes Squeezy. And we'll have to see where Onyx is out on track. He's coming around the Parabolica. Here we go then.
It's going to be close.
It is going to be close. Let's see if we can see Squeezy there. There he is along the pit exit then, and you can see in the distance there, that's Onyx. Oh. Well, actually, Squeezy's actually gained time on Onyx there. That's incredible. So Squeezy then rejoins in front of Onyx. 2.4 seconds is the gap.
Is indeed. And Onyx, during that outlap that he had, he's picked up yet another 3-second time penalty for repeated warning, so he's now on 6 seconds worth of penalties already as the Sauber driver, so that is certainly not going to help him during this race. But yeah, Squeezy gained at least half a second, if not more, through that pit stop phase. There were around about 2 seconds between them when Onyx pitted, so he certainly maintained that gap and gained at least a half a second. But Onyx has got the advantage of having been on these tyres for an extra lap, so they're already up to temperature, and he's already gained around about a second on this lap, from 2.5 down to 1.3, so he's definitely on the charge. Probably got the battery turned right up as they come through the Ascari chicane. But Poe is in the lead at the moment, Spike in second, and that is a good position for the other Sauber, because he started on those soft tyres as Poe comes into the pits and Spike takes over the lead. We're now on lap 11 at 27 here at Monza.
Now I'm just wondering if Spike here, as we see Poe pitting in, putting on a set of soft tyres, is that? Yes, it is. So soft tyres on for Poe then, as he makes his way down the pit lane. This is the strategy I'm thinking then. Spike then is, of course, in the lead of the race, as he's on those soft tyres. I wonder if he's going to try and make those soft tyres last as long as possible, so that he goes onto a set of super softs. It's entirely possible. Shout out to Clifford as well, 6.6 behind our current leader Spike on the same strategy. Now remember, Clifford started in 11th place in this race. He's up into P2 right now, of course, yet to make a stop in this race, as we see a battle here developing between Poe and Steph as we head towards turn 4. And Poe's got the move done, has he? Yes, he has. The Renault driver gets that move done. It was an important move too. Steph yet to stop in this race, looking to try and make a battle with Poe, but Poe on much fresher tyres. Looks like he's got the traction, has he? Well, Steph has a little bit of a say, maybe going into the second Lesmo, but no, decides to back out of it, and Poe finally gets P5. We then see Squeezy and Onyx going through the Ascari chicane, and you might see a little bit of a snap here from Squeezy there. No, he keeps it in shape right now as the trees are in the way. A little bit of slipstream here from Onyx then as we head towards the Parabolica. Where will Squeezy go? He will try and defend the inside into Parabolica. They make slight contact there as they head into the entrance of Parabolica. No damage to Onyx there. If it is, it's a very light green wing as we now head into the DRS zone. There's the DRS line. Can Onyx finally make this move? Squeezy's going defensive, and look at that, Onyx trying to go down the inside. Onto the grass he goes, and has he made that move stick as we head down into the first corner? Squeezy's going to have the inside, but Onyx makes the move. That was quite impossible, the way he made that move onto the grass, but Onyx takes that position away from Squeezy into turn 1. Andy, what did we just see?
That was incredible. I mean, I think it was fair, but it was very, very aggressive from Squeezy. He pushed him right to the outside, and Onyx was having none of it. Used the extra bit of tarmac to the right-hand side as where the pit exit is before you get onto the track itself. Just caught the grass as he came on. Squeezy gave him a bit of room when he realised the grass was coming up, which is fair play. But what a move from the Sauber driver. But again, during that time when you were talking, Kieran, he received another 3-second time penalty for repeated warnings again. So he's already accumulated 9 seconds of warnings. And obviously, I don't know if he's taken any in the pit stops or not, but that is obviously going to affect him at the end of the race. Squeezy down towards Parabolica. He's probably going to be better to wait and take the DRS down into the first chicane. He's still behind him at the line, so he's timed that one quite nicely. As they come through the Parabolica, I'm expecting them. Oh, Squeezy getting sideways there in the exit. That's going to be quite an easy move, I'd imagine, for the McLaren. Will Onyx pay him back by pushing him to the inside? Now Squeezy just goes, I'll just take the outside, thank you very much. And the McLaren is already through before they reach the braking zone. Will Onyx chuck it down the inside? Oh my goodness, I'm surprised he didn't touch there. How did that not happen? But that is Squeezy back through, and that is third place, which is obviously a bit of a net first position at the moment, because Spike and Clifford, first and second, have still not stopped yet. The only other driver not to stop is Steph. Everyone else has made at least one pit stop so far, and your biggest gainer in the race at the moment is Clifford, 9 places up from his starting position, but he is still to stop yet. Steph's up 6 positions. Your biggest losers are Lighty and Poe, down 3 places from where they started off, apart from those obviously that have already retired from the race. Z3 on the chat as well, saying he was kind of relieved he's not having to drive anymore. He did mention he was ill before this race, feeling very tired. Hope you feel better soon, my friend. It's a shame to see you out the race regardless, so, but he's mentioned he's quite happy in one way that he's no longer driving as Onyx goes very wide through Ascari, trying to chase down Squeezy one more time down to Parabolica.
Absolutely. Here we go then towards the Parabolica. There's the DRS line. So will we say a third overtake in 3 laps between these two? Will it be quite as dramatic as 2 laps ago then? In the slipstream we go. Lap 14 of this Grand Prix. Into the slipstream Onyx goes. Will he have a chance to try and make a move on Squeezy? This time he tries to take the outside line. Squeezy trying to look and close that gap. And the door slams shut. But can Squeezy hold on? Yes, he can. Onyx there, losing out a little bit there. But Squeezy holds the position there with a huge slam of the door.
Yeah, definitely. So hard but fair in my opinion. But Onyx has got a run here. Is he going to get up the inside into the second chicane? Was there contact there? I wonder. I'm not sure. Squeezy's picked up a 3-second penalty himself. So obviously not as much as Onyx, but he's managed to maintain the position for now in third place. But I wonder if there was just a bit of contact there. The camera angle wasn't quite the best to see if there was. But Onyx is going to have another go towards Ascari, down the hill, under the trees, under the old banking as well. And he's, oh goodness, is he going to go at Ascari? He's going for it, Ascari. That's not usually where you go. He's cut the chicane. He's going to have to give that place back. Picking up a 3-second penalty. He's going to have to give the place back, surely.
And he does. He does give the place back. But I wonder if this is going to be a sort of Kimi Räikkönen Lewis Hamilton move at Spa in 2008. I wondered if he was going to just chuck it up the inside of the next corner. He hasn't done. He's waiting for the DRS then, and you can see here Squeezy instantly trying to go defensive. He must have got Parabolica wrong, because the exit that Onyx had was amazing. He was starting to make the move before the DRS zone. Here comes Squeezy though, without the DRS, trying to go up the inside into the first corner. He's got the move done once again. These two are battling hard, but Onyx and Squeezy come together. The rear
goes through.
What part is through?
And the third as well. So that was just, oh goodness, after so many laps of brilliant racing, for it to happen like that, it's just unbelievable. That McLaren's got some speed down the straight, so without the DRS, that was astonishing that he could keep up with the Salb under DRS. But yeah, it ended in tears. Squeezy caught the grass, Onyx side by side. I couldn't apportion blame at the moment. I would need to see it again, but it's such a shame to see that happen. Hopefully neither car has damage and they can make time up. But the biggest gainer there was Poe. During those laps he was catching up with these two, and now with that he is now into third place, which with the top two still to pit is possibly provisional first place in this race, and that's certainly going to do his championship hopes a world of good if he can keep it there. But there's still quite a bit to go. We're beyond half distance now. Spike is now in the pits from first place. It'll be interesting to see what tyres he goes on to in just a moment. We're on to lap 16 of 27, just 11 racing laps to go. It's been all action here at Monza. Clifford in the pits as well in the Force India, and it is the super softs for Spike. Super soft tyres on for the last 11 laps, so he is going to have the grippiest tyres possible. Is he going to get ahead of Squeezy maybe? I don't know. Nope, Squeezy's got the run down there easily, but they're side by side nearly. Nope, that's an easy one. So he's right behind him. He's made a lot of places. So Poe leads, Onyx in second, but he's got numerous time penalties. Squeezy's in third and Spike in fourth. And it looks like everyone has now made at least one pit stop in this race, so it's now just a run to the end. It's all going to be about fuel management, tyre management, battery management, and picking your moments at the right point. So it's definitely going to be an interesting finish to this race as we watch third and fourth come through the first of the two Lesmo corners at the back end of the track.
Absolutely. I hate to correct you here, Andy, but actually Steph hasn't stopped yet on those soft tyres. He started on those tyres.
I apologise.
So he's over half distance on those soft tyres. Meanwhile here comes Spike round the outside of Squeezy, and to be honest with you, I don't think Squeezy put up too much of a fight there. Spike through onto the podium on those really grippy super soft tyres. He's got Onyx ahead of him, teammates. Now we saw in Germany Onyx rather moved aside for Spike for anyone else apart from his teammate. Will we see the same again here at Monza?
That'll be interesting to see. Will Onyx play a bit of a wingman role maybe? He does have numerous penalties, and obviously it's a good chance there to allow Spike, who is in chance of the championship being in the top 4, to gain some places over Squeezy behind him, who's in 3rd place, and obviously to try and chase down Poe as well, who is leading this race and 2nd in the championship. I think you remember you saying earlier on. As Steph finally comes into the pits, Lighties came in for a 2nd stop. I did think that was a bit of a brave strategy, trying to get the soft tyres to the end of the race, and that's proven right. 11 laps, and he's decided he has had enough of those, and he is back into the pits. But that means the Ferraris are down in 9th and 11th at their home Grand Prix at the moment. Not what the Scuderia would have wanted, definitely not what the drivers would have wanted, but we're in for a thrilling finish to this race, and Spike looks to be the man to watch at the moment on those super soft tyres, hunting down his teammate. He's only about 6 seconds off a Poe, who's been on those soft tyres for 6 laps, and we've just seen Lighty pit, and he'd only managed 11 laps after making an early pit stop. So could those tyres give up? Still 10 laps to go yet. This race is far from over. It's not a long way to go yet, even with only 10 laps, and it's going to be interesting to see what will happen between Spike and Onyx in just a moment as they come through the Parabolica. But Poe leads just around about 6 seconds. He just sets the fastest lap of the race as well at 22.5, and here comes Spike, 22.5 as he comes over the line. Will his teammate put up much of a fight? Nope, stays to the inside. Easy pass, that's going to be a doubt. He's going to let him through without much bother. Yep, easy done, little lock up. But that is Spike up to 2nd. He is now going to go and hunt down that Renault of Poe up front, and this is going to be a fun chase to the end through the forest here in Monza.
5.8 seconds, 10 laps to go. You do the maths. He's got to catch him by at least 1.5 seconds every single lap, and that is going to be a tough ask. However, this is Spike we're talking about, and he is capable of such feats. But can he steal the win away from Poe? Poe, who played his cards right, stayed behind in that Onyx and Squeezy battle, and speaking of which, those two are only 1.4 seconds behind each other again. Expect round 2 for seconds out soon, but we see Poe then going through Ascari for the 18th time as he heads towards the Parabolica. He will be starting lap 19 in the lead, and he'll just be hoping that the bad omens of Germany have gone away now. Of course, he has gone onto the set of soft tyres, which is an interesting call considering he started on the super softs. So it's a very aggressive strategy from Poe. He wants those fast lap times, but he's got to make sure those tyres make it to the end. Spike there, 122.0, half a second quicker than Poe's best lap time so far. So he's on it right now.
Definitely, as you say, should catch him up, but as the old phrase from the legendary Murray Walker, who should be a sir as far as I'm concerned, catching is one thing, passing is quite another, but he's certainly got the speed to do so. Lighty picking up a 3-second penalty. Onyx picked up at least another one as well, so he's got multiple time penalties. 3rd at the moment, but if those penalties are true and add up, he's possibly got a chance of dropping down the order a few more places at the end of this race. He's been getting numerous warnings obviously, and I've got at least 5 3-second penalties here on my notepad for the Sauber driver. So although he's in 3rd at the moment, even if he finishes there, it might not be the end of it. But as you say, Squeezy's catching up. He's got DRS down towards Ascari. You said it was round 2, lights out. I don't think so. This is more like round 6, considering how those two have been going on. It's going to be interesting what happens down to the Retafilio chicane for the 20th time in just a moment as we come down towards Parabolica. First of all, this is the closest battle on the track between the Sauber and the McLaren. They've hardly been separated much. For Squeezy weaving about there, I don't know what that was about, but he's managed to keep it together anyway. But Onyx weaving, I'm afraid, and Squeezy's going to get a run in the McLaren. DRS will be wide open in just a second. He's got the battery turned up to overtake mode. Here we go. Lap 20, another shot. Onyx goes to the inside, Squeezy to the outside. McLaren's got the speed, but the Sauber's still there. That was good braking into the chicane there. I'll tell you one thing, if that was me hitting the brakes, I would have been halfway towards Bologna by now.
I have no response to that one. No response whatsoever.
What can I say?
8 laps to go then. Poe is in the lead. 5 seconds the gap. And, well, it's down to 4.9 right now. Spike, of course, in 2nd. Onyx in 3rd. Trying to hold off Squeezy, who currently is in 4th place. And, well, they're battling hard, as you can see. This result for Sauber would be a pretty good one. It would send them further up the table. Could even overtake Renault here if it ends like this. But we see here Onyx really trying to defend hard against Squeezy as we head towards the Ascari chicane. Squeezy trying to put it up the inside. Oh, it's going to end in tears again, is it? Oh, they make contact. And they can hold their breath, as you did, Andy, and fight another day. But it's getting too close for comfort now.
Oh, this is just like that. Squeezy all over the back, left, right. He's up the inside at Parabolica. This is, I think this is just going to end in tears at some point at the moment. I hope not. They're side by side. I'm going to go on board with Squeezy at the moment. The touching wheels nearly in the wall. That was nearly reminiscent of Schumacher and Barrichello in Hungary in 2010. But here we go. Lap 21 to the inside. Nearly on the grass again. They're touching. Oh, goodness, where's Onyx gone? They've hit. And Onyx has lost his wing. Squeezy's got a 10-second penalty, and there's a minus a front wing for the Sauber. And I did say it's likely ended tears. They've just crashed into each other again, and they're both lost. Onyx is out. Squeezy on the side of the road with a wing damage as well. And oh my goodness me, that is not what we wanted to see as Jay goes up in the third place. That looked like two very frustrated drivers, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and to be honest with you, Squeezy, Onyx, they both lost their heads, and well, to be honest with you, it's ended the way it should have done between those two. But it promotes Jay up into P3, and it will promote Clifford up into P4. Coming through the second Lesmo here, he's 3.3 behind Jay here, and what a day this is turning out for Renault all of a sudden. First and third, with Spike 3.9 now behind Poe. Squeezy there with no front wing. He's going to struggle to make it back to the pits. He will put on a set of super soft tyres, but as you can see, he's really struggling right now. And, well, this is championship lead lost. Any chance of taking a championship lead going into round 15, all but extinguished for Squeezy. And he might find himself dropping down to fourth place in that four-car battle. And, well, let's hold our opinions for Commentator's Corner, shall we? Let's focus on the race for now, with Poe leading the way, Spike in second, Jay in third place. Squeezy into the pits at last.
He's finally made it round with that damage. It's such a shame. Onyx on the chat saying his words are, quote, "He tried to hit me on the straight." It does sound like to me that the two of them have maybe just lost their head. It looks like they're trying to bang wheels, and you know, in online, obviously you get glitches, you can get contact where it sort of sticks you together like a magnet. But whether it be sim racing for fun, for money, for real life, you've got to still have some respect for the other driver. I hope that's not the case. We will hear it in Commentator's Corner. I'm not trying to jump the gun, but it did look like they were losing their heads a little bit there, and it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say if we're able to get them into the chat later. Hopefully they don't try and argue over the top of each other if we get both of them. But as you say, it's turning into a good day for Renault, but Spike, I'm watching the Sauber at the moment as he comes to start his 24th lap, 3.5 seconds. It's kind of slowed up, so Poe's still finding a bit of pace in that Renault, despite being on tyres that are 12 laps old and being on the soft tyres. So it'll be interesting to see if Spike can catch up on his championship rival. Poe obviously second at the moment in the championship, Spike in fourth just now as well. So this is definitely one, and with Squeezy now down the order, this is definitely going to play into the hands of those two. Squeezy getting a 3-second penalty along with the 10 seconds he picked up due to the contact that he had with Onyx earlier on as well. Don't need to worry about Onyx's penalties at the moment because obviously he's now out of the race. Spike 3 seconds now, and Jay is quite a wee bit behind, so it's really between these two for the end of this race. Who's your money on here then, Kieran? Do you fancy the Renault to hold on the older tyres, or do you fancy the super soft shod Sauber to come flying through at some point in the last couple of laps?
Well, here's the difficult thing. As Spike has said in the past, when you try and strap on a set of the fastest tyre possible, you'll get 3 or 4 laps when they're absolutely in their prime, but after that they start to fall away, and the gap is 2.4 seconds. Poe will cross the line in the lead. We'll have 4 laps to go, and the gap is 2.3 seconds. Spike needs to close the gap by 0.6 of a lap to catch him. But it's an entirely different thing to pass him. 4 laps to go. Hold on to your hats. This one could be a grandstand finish, and this would kind of actually have a big save for Spike here. He may be able, in fact, if he does win, whoever wins right here between this battle will take the lead of the championship heading towards round 15. So this is all to play for after this 7 rounds to go, and a great chance to try and lead the championship heading towards that round. So battle between these two should be very interesting indeed.
Definitely it's going to be, and while you've been talking, I've been looking through the chat. I'll leave it there and I won't say anything, but Commentator's Corner could be fun, that's for sure. Definitely a bit of back and forth going on in the chat, so if you are watching it, have a wee look, because Onyx has had his say in what his thoughts are already in regards to that incident with Squeezy. Squeezy's still in the race, he's in 8th place, so he's still ahead of Plaster and Damien. He's now got the soft tyres on, decided to go with softs rather than super softs, maybe just to be on the safe side. But yeah, it's definitely cost him. This was a chance for him to jump up and catch up with Lambo, considering that he had dropped out of the race early doors after the contact with the Renault. There's been a lot of contact in this race, but you know, it's certainly been exciting as well, and it's a shame to see it come to an end the way it did. But it'll be interesting to hear both drivers' opinions if we can hear it afterwards. We will wait and see. 25 laps gone, 3 to go including the one they're on. 1.7 seconds between the top two. Steph is not far behind the Haas of Maisie as well. I'm going to apologise to him, I can never say his name right, I'll get it one day. But this is a chance for the Mercedes on the super softs, and he's got 7 laps younger tyres. DRS coming up, so I'm just watching these two just now coming down the front straight. The Mercedes is going to have DRS, but that Haas looks pretty quick. Let's see. There's the DRS effect coming in, nearly 220 miles an hour. Mercedes goes through. It's a pretty easy move for the 92 machine as Squeezy sets the fastest lap of the race at 21.9. But it is all about what's happening up front. 1.5 seconds now between the front two, and they're coming up to back markers as well. Pole is behind Plaster in the Ferrari, coming up to Parabolica. Oh, good. He's had to run very wide there due to the Ferrari, and that is going to give Spike a brilliant run. He's going to pick up DRS off the Ferrari, I'd imagine, and a slipstream, and it's now under a second to go. And he is beyond the back of that Renault. Penultimate lap, lap 26 to 27. We're in for a grandstand finish here at Monza.
Absolutely, we're watching this battle. We're also watching the battle between two ex-teammates. Steph here trying to go up the inside towards the Ascari chicane, and Mays rather lets him go. He did get the move done earlier on, back past him, but on those medium tyres, 15-lap-old medium tyres, Steph in the end gets him with plenty of space into the braking zone. Poe leads the way with 1.5 laps to go. 7/10 of a second is the gap between these two. If Spike can keep his cool here, as we exit the second Lesmo, he'll have the DRS towards the Ascari chicane, and this will do him the world of good then, as we then head towards the towards Parabolica, I should say. Here we go then towards Ascari. Poe chucking the car in, hoping it sticks. Remember, whoever wins this battle between these two will lead the championship after this race. So it has big implications as to who goes into the championship, or who goes into the next race leading it. As we see then Poe coming around Parabolica for the penultimate time. He's got to do this for one more lap. And the pressure is unreal then for the Renault driver. He's done it before in situations like this, but can he do it again? Last lap of the Italian Grand Prix. Poe will start it in the lead. Will he end it in the lead as we head down towards the first corner? This is a real braking opportunity and a real overtaking opportunity. That's gone for Spike now. Advantage Poe as we head towards the Curva Grande.
Yeah, that was definitely a chance. He seemed to have timed it well almost to catch up, but he couldn't get the move done there, and that's probably the best chance. He's going to have another chance here if he can be close enough. I don't think he's quite going to be able to do it coming into the Roggia chicane. He's not, so he's going to have to follow him through sideways out off the chicane. He's going to have to follow him through the two Lesmo corners, get the DRS towards Ascari, and he's going to have to try and do something down to Parabolica if he wants to take this win. But Poe, 16 laps on these soft tyres, and he's made it work pretty well, but can he hold on for this last short part? We're now through sector 2 up to the Ascari chicane. Spike has a little dinky a look, but he pulls back in, locks up the brakes. He comes down towards the Parabolica. Kieran, take it away for the final. Go for it.
Well, we're coming towards Parabolica then. Spike made a little bit of a mistake coming into the second part of the Ascari chicane, and Poe coming around the final corner, regardless of penalties, he's going to come round a final corner now. And here he comes towards the line. He's just about held on then. Poe will win in Italy. And Spike there finishes in second. They had the same penalty, the 3-second penalty. So Poe wins here in Italy. Spike in second then. And Jay coming around the final corner. I believe this is going to be his first podium in TTL F1. A massive win here for Jay then as he crosses the line. That is his best result of the season, and he'll be absolutely ecstatic about that. And how about Clifford as well? Fourth place due to penalties. He only finishes 2/10 behind Jay. What a drive from the Force India driver. They'll be hugely happy with the points they've got today. Steph coming around the final corner, and he'll be very happy with P5. It's been a tough race for him, but he's got there in the end. P5, well-deserved points for the Mercedes driver, and Mays couldn't quite hold on to that P5, but he jumps him through penalties then. He'll jump him through penalties, the Haas driver, and a dramatic race that has ended with Poe winning the Italian Grand Prix and taking the lead of the championship.
Exciting stuff, definitely so, and well done to Poe taking the victory. Spike, brilliant trying to catch him down. He nearly got him. One more lap could have made the difference, but Renault 1 and 3 on the podium with Salba in second. I bet you we wish we could have had that in real life now and again, that's for sure. But brilliant driving, obviously dominated a little bit early on by Squeezy. And then obviously the issues with Onyx, obviously there's been chat going on. We'll need to see what both drivers think and see what happens. We can only go by what we see on the screen, and it did look to me personally that from what I've seen that maybe both lost their heads a bit, but again I will reserve judgment until we know otherwise. Lots of penalties about. Squeezy 26 seconds worth finishing in 8th, so Poe in first, Spike second, Jay takes third. It's an all British 1, 2, 3 up front. Clifford in 4th in the Force India with Maisie in 5th. Steph in 6th, Light, he takes 7th for Ferrari. Squeezy in 8th, recovering some points there after all the issues with Onyx. 9th was Plaster, a lap down, and 10th rounding out the points was Damien. Everyone else was a non-finisher in the race. Well, that was frantic, was it not?
Well, it's certainly one of the most dramatic Grand Prix I've ever seen, and I doubt we'll be hearing the end of it anytime soon. This is where
still going.
Don't mention the chat, you'll only make it worse.
Stoke the fire. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, definitely say I couldn't have picked a more I couldn't have picked a better race, I think, to make my first appearance for TTL F1. What a race that was! Wow. Unbelievable. I'm speechless. I'm out of breath.
Well, that's it for this first part of the stream. Of course, with TTL F1 we have Commentators Corner coming up very, very shortly. Of course, with Commentators Corner it allows the drivers to have that cool down period and see if anybody wants to chat with us. So stay tuned to TTTV. Obviously we'll be starting a different stream in a couple of minutes time, and I will see you soon.